Folks, welcome back. Censored for your protection. Nothing inappropriate. And the shot heard around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, filling up a truckload of mail here, getting a couple hundred shipping labels out for the patrons today. You guys are just going crazy on these $89 draft boxes. I see you out there. So, looked at my email and my patron this morning, and all of a sudden I got blown up in the last couple hours. Apparently, the president, the head guy of Upper Deck, you know who Upper Deck is. If you don't, I don't even know why you're watching this channel, is filed a lawsuit against Disney's Lorcana, claiming, holy potatoes, you got to Google this, that's all over the internet. So, Upper Deck is claiming that some dudes used to work for Upper Deck came up with the game design for Disney's Lorcana. And apparently they quit, left, whatever the company, they separated from Upper Deck, and went with Disney Lorcana Ravensburger, and Upper Deck is suing Ravensburger over essentially a copyright type theft of their intellectual rights that they designed Disney's Lorcana. Well, that took a quick left turn. So Disney's Lorcana isn't even out yet, and Upper Deck is suing Ravensburger for this whole thing. Well, that's an interesting turning of it. Okay, so I know right now everyone's too busy trying to measure who has the largest, hardest, longest washing machine over the one-of-one ring, Lord of the Rings. Everybody's trying to place and lay out their equipment to see who can measure the longest in the competition and who can offer the most amount of money. I'm sure at this point it's some sort of $1.69 million for the ring. And I just, am looking at this going, is this going to delay the launch of Disney's Lorcana? If it's like a cease and desist and it gets tangled in court and like a judge says, well, you need to hold off until this is settled. So I'm not really sure how this is going to unfold. This is going to be up to the legal system to decide who's right or wrong. I just think the whole headline that Upper Deck must feel pretty damn confident right now to publicly state, the head guy, about what he says is going on, and to put his money where his mouth is, team of attorneys, and to sue another big company like Ravensburg. Like, you must be feeling pretty confident that you got some hard evidence and that you've got a real chance of this case to go public and go after something like this. Because if you're wrong, or if you're lying, the risk of blowing up in your face in a non-enjoyable way and really causing long-term harm to your own name and your own brand is a really big, dangerous thing. So, my opinion, they must have some serious evidence. And they must have tried contacting Raven. Because, remember, usually companies, when things like this happen, most of the time, not always, most of the time, they try to reach out to the other company, the counterparty, and they try to say, hey, so-and-so works for you, used to work for me, I've been seeing these demos of this new product you're making, that's exactly what we have over here, that it looks like the employee took with them, and yeah, we're kind of pissed about it, we don't want you doing it, or you need to change something. So, usually there's something like that where they attempt to communicate privately, and then when one party says, go F yourself, or doesn't respond, then the other party gets pissed, they escalate, and here we are in a situation where Upper Deck versus Ravensburger. Like, at this point, no matter what happens, this puts an interesting kind of slash mark on this new product coming. Okay. So, that's all. I just want to cover that, and if anybody else has more information out there, please feel free to comment below and post everything. I am just mostly in a state of shock and surprised at what's going on. Because I just assumed there must have been a lot of back and forth over the last 3, 6, 12 months over this dispute or disagreement. And obviously it must have escalated and gotten worse with no settlement or agreement. And now it's become a public thing with a public court case, with a public filing. And we're going to see where that ends up going. Other news, folks, just keep in mind, we are getting ready for the Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering launch, which appears to be the largest, most hyped Magic the Gathering set in modern history. The One Ring thing with all the giant competition of different large, hard, oversized repairmen seem to be bidding on who can get their name in the headlines with the largest bid and offer. I still think the whole thing is really... still think it's kind of cringy, but whatever. Obviously, even with yesterday's video, a lot of people are speculating on what's going to happen, what they think. Hasbro can't risk this thing being opened early. They can't risk it not being open. There's all these different hearsays and tinfoil hat theories, and we're just going to wait to see what happens, because I can lay out 20, 30 different possible outcomes, and nobody really knows. There's no way to predict how this is going to go unless you're on the inside, and if you are, you're probably under some non-disclosure agreement where you can't discuss it anyways. Other news, Pokemon releases their first expansion, which has been quite interesting. Not however, we're going to have to discuss Pokemon in another video by itself, but overall, there's been a lot of confusion, a lot of disappointment, a lot of people who are pissed off that they can not flip the new Pokemon product. A lot of stores, you have to remember, there are some distributors charging $99 to $101 a box. Wholesale, if you're a store business owner paying overhead. Like, these things are online for like $15? After shipping and fees, you net what, $95? I mean, there's no money in this stuff. So we're back to what I like to call old school Pokemon days, where you can't just flip and get free tendies, and people were fighting each other at Walmart and Target. A bunch of old guys were trying to get them off the shelf in the big box stores. And so we're kind of back to the normal environment, and it's very interesting to see the frustration again of a bunch of stores and people. It does appear that the Pokemon release has had a reduced print run for whatever the reason is. People feel it's because Pokemon's upset with how soft the market is on it, and they've short printed this second set of the new block, and we'll see what happens if they do another wave or not. Also, last but not least in this video, yes, it is official, which I have another video coming. Pokemon has reprinted a Sword and Shield set called Lost Origins. It's coming in July. Before you get all excited about it, if you're a regular person and you don't have access to distribution or whatever it is, you're not missing out on much. These boxes are maybe $140, $150 online right now. Most distributors are charging like $120, $125, or you have to bundle and buy a bunch of other stuff. So for the record, even if you're a store owner, if you want even a case or two of this stuff, you're looking probably at like $120 a box. The market's like $150. There's still no real opportunity here. But if you're looking to build a position in Lost Origins, this is probably going to be your one little small dip over the next 90 days. Maybe the boxes go from $150 to $140, $130 before they get flushed and go right back up. So if you missed out on Lost Origins, this is probably going to be your one and only last shot from the Sword and Shield era. Just wanted to notify that with everybody. Last but not least, MetaZoo did release their final waves. So all supply now of the new MetaZoo Native has hit the market. And the box price on TCG Player went from about $140 to about $100, $105 right now. So we did have a softening of about 20-30% down tick with the rest of all the supply hitting the market. The market appears to be absorbing it pretty good. And once again, Native and MetaZoo seems to have the strongest secondary market we have seen in many sets of MetaZoo, with a lot of actual cards that are playable and going after the dual resource cards, not only just the serialized and secret cards, but the resource cards and things like that. Even Mr. P, the big cryptid there, the regular holo, there's a lot of regular cards of value and a lot of good sales volume online. So I wanted to get that out there. And that's about it. Let's see what else we got going on here. That's really about it. I think the focus is just going to be on the Lord of the Rings thing. By the way, everybody was talking about Lord of the Rings as like this one of one. If once the one of one is gone, the boxes are worthless. Well, now that the collector boxes actually have good box toppers again, that is also going to add more stability to the secondary market for the collector boxes. Instead of just a garbage box topper, it is like Zendikar Rising, where you actually have decent box toppers. We have Zendikar around here? We do not. So that is pretty interesting. In addition to that, there's a lot of interesting chatter with the Lord of the Rings commander sets. I'm hearing rumors that some of these commander sets for Lord of the Rings have some really wild pools in them. So far, I don't think they're fully spoiled as of they're not fully spoiled as of the filming of this video, but I just want you all to be aware the Lord of the Rings commander deck sets appear to be another really good. Like the commander deck sets, like for like the specialty products, tend to be really good. The commander deck sets now for like regular sets like Dominaria or Crimson or Midnight, the regular commander deck sets with each set are very weak and not that exciting, kind of like a Planeswalker supplemental cheap product. But these specialty sets, Commander Masters, Lord of the Rings, Warhammer 40k, these commander decks have been doing really well, and Wizards has really been juicing them, and the market's been very happy with them. So I do expect the spoilers once the full spoiler list comes out for these Commander decks of Lord of the Rings. I do think it's actually going to be probably another really good product. I don't expect it to crash and burn at all. I've been hearing rumors and some leaks, but nothing official yet, that there is some pretty spicy pools in the Lord of the Ring Commander, and I'm waiting to see if those end up being true or if I'm being bamboozled. That's all I have today, folks. Mostly just wanted to share that Rudy's response, that the plot really thickens about this new Disney Lorcana, how it came about, the design, the mechanics of the game, and supposedly these employees used to work for Upper Deck and then they left, and now there's this turmoil with it, and now Upper Deck's really pissed, and I guess they tried to reach it. This is going to be a very interesting unfolding thing, because I'm wondering if Upper Deck's going to try, while this is in, tangled in courts and legal systems, is this going to have like a delay of the release? Are they going to ask for a delay of, hey, you can't release this product? Are they going to ask the judge to kind of cease and desist rolling this new launch out in the summer? That's what I'm really curious about, because if I was Upper Deck and I had the evidence and I believed I was right, well, you don't want this thing to go to market. If it does, you're going to want all the revenue or profit from it because it's your product. That's kind of the angle if they have that evidence and that's true. So we're going to find, again, I'm not a legal guy. I can't even get an $8 haircut. I got heavy bags of failed product. I'm a dude in the basement in Florida. And again, here's a picture of my penis. Have a beautiful day.